Politricks watch. This is their people. Now, today I'm going to be talking about one of your favourite Dan them and how, just in case you think he retire, he hasn't. One of his former 87s, Apex 87s, just find out that they're hard way. We're going to talk about it. Also going to be touching on JA's literacy rate. JA, Iron Man. We're going way back in time. We're going to show you where Jamaica come from in terms of, percentage of the population that can read and write. Because, as you know, this is also one of the other arguments them as to why Iron Man sit atop the murder charts. It's because of the lack of education. Because just like poverty, apparently, right, Iron Man is the worst in the world for that. You go on hear about it. Touchy Road. This is an interesting character. Touchy Road is an Apex 87 in a clans. And this is a textbook example of how things work out with them. I can't remember if I mentioned him before, but I definitely know I haven't done a video on him. But Touchy Road is from the era of people like JJ Nakis and Badders and them with them. Same type of 87. He was a part of that group that helped Tesha and Clans dominate their rivals with sheer overwhelming violence. Touchy Road was well known in the streets, well known in a few part of Spanish Town, but remember at them time there wasn't as much social media, there wasn't as much information, People only know about certain man if they come from the community. So people who come from certain part of Spanish Town, they know about Touchy Road, but as for Jamaica as a whole, probably the first time they hear about him. Even though he's just as notorious as the JJ Nakis them and the Badders them. But the thing with enough of them old time clans 87 it's hard to find a decent picture of them. So, so we can't really make a video, without even having something to show and say, in English. So you might have wonder, hold on, JJ Nakis and Badders and them man, look how long them man are dead. In the war from them time there? Yes. Touchy Road escaped, the whole heap of death and jail house to reach certain man. But I'm telling you about Apex 87s. All the time them gone, all the time them disappear. And it look like them gone off into the sunset. Next thing you hear, some problem catch up with them. But the thing with Apex 87 is them have so much death and destruction behind them, where them can't rest. All the time them decide to them want cool. Even time them decide to them done with the badness, here comes trouble. So when enough of the man them start dead off and go jail, Touchy Road take away himself and go Sentan, in that Touchy. Matter of fact, many people in Sentan probably didn't even know that they were living beside one of Klansman's most feared 87s. So even though originally Touchy Road still kept the link with Clans and Tesha in a Touchy, eventually him started doing one thing because Tesha started to have him own problems to deal with, and when certain pressure start reaching him, you can't exactly keep up to date with every single 87 you have spread out all over the place. So Touchy Road that Touchy and became his own boss. So nobody in a Spanish Town has Touchy Road. At one time people even speculate say look like him dead. God didn't hear nothing from him. Look like life was sweet in Touchy. All of a sudden, people start steam again. Like recently. People are saying, hold on, Touchy Road that? Him back in the place. To make things worse, he came back with the same swagger he had from back in the day. Because his reputation was big, back in the day. In Spain, people who know Touchy Road that. When you go certain place, you get the automatic ratings and it got ready in their city culture. 87s with one bag of dopey and the reputation of being a killer. Man walking a certain spot and man say, oh, see the boss there, Touchy Road there, JJ Nakis there, Badders there. But Touchy Road make a serious mistake. You see, the newer 87s them, they don't really know him like that. They might hear about him, but they don't really know him like that. When he did a step into the streets, he must step with Badders and JJ Nakis and all them man. Old time 87s. Most of them dead off. So When him start turning up back in the place now, start walking around like, old time Touchy Road, old time Klansman. When they know them try to make him know, say, so this work now, he was very dismissive. When them try to tell him what him can and can't do, him no want to hear that. Badness is a young man game. And the conveyor belt always have a younger pit bull ready to name your food. So next thing you know, word sent out, say, your favorite Dan from jail one page, Touchy Road. You know it guy ready. Yo, the general want to talk to you, the boss say want to talk to you, with them style. Well, Touchy Road brush it off. Right. Say not take no more talk from Tesha. You might do your own thing now. Mind that Touchy, he didn't have to take no more talk from Tesha. Well, I saw him think. That might work in a Touchy, but not in a Spanish town. Man, them run program from Touchy Road. Shot him up. Right. This is very recent, by the way. Now, last I heard, he didn't die, but it sounds serious. Even if he pulled through, he's probably going to have to take himself again. But Touchy Road is another example that 87s are cannon fodder, even for them own gang. He was pivotal back in the day for Tesha. Right. But as him try to branch off and do his own thing, him immediately go up on the menu. None of the old ratings them did have couldn't save him. The idea that gangs run on principles and code is unicorn. In real life, gangs kill off them own members all the time. It don't take much to own a gang get rid of you. A 87 can kill 20 man to the done, and then last one gun and then kill him. 87 can go up on 20 murder operations for the gang. Fall out with man over an eagle eye, run program on him, and then kill him. You'll be surprised to know how easy it is for a man get killed by an own gang. The romantic story of loyal to the death and death before dishonor, you can't mean that. And you shouldn't be surprised that your favorite Dan that jail has sent out hits because, as you know by now, jail has stopped nobody from ordering hits. So, we can move on to Jamaica's historical literacy rate. So I've been doing some research and found an article in the Jamaica Observer where say, in 1962, 67% of Jamaicans were illiterate. In other words, 33% were literate. 33% can read and write. Then we find some research papers, put them on your screen, where shows say, in 1975, this had increased to 47% of Jamaicans were literate. Try to put your screen again. You can see it for yourself. In the 60s, we don't even go back before that. We could have started from the 60s. Jamaica had a very high illiteracy rate. Most Jamaicans were illiterate. Why am I talking about this? If you look at Jamaica's murder charts, murder rate, you will see from the 60s, it's been climbing and climbing and climbing. But when Jamaica was at its most literate, our murders were at its lowest. In other words, Jamaica got more literate, more Jamaicans could read and write, got better educated, but murders kept rising up and up and up. In 1965, there were 65 murders in Ireland. The population was 1.7 million people. Trinidad have a population of 1.4 million people now and are about to hit 600 murders. But we had 1.7 million people in 65 and had 65 murders. Ireland had more people in 1965 than Trinidad have now, and murders were in the 60s. You mean to tell me, say, forget about the gun. Let's assume there was not one gun in Ireland in the 60s. Not one. Are you telling me Jamaicans then couldn't find 200 knife and cutlass to kill somebody with? 200? 200 people couldn't dead with knife and cutlass out of 1.7 million? I mean, you can ask the British about knife crime. You don't need guns to kill people. For them gangs, mostly use knife. For them crime wave, a knife, a drive it. So 1.7 million people couldn't use knife and kill off on 200-300 people. 65 murders, 62 and 63. Those were the numbers we had seen in the 60s. Here are the facts. Poverty, illiteracy, and unemployment rate are all better in the last 30 years than the first 30 years of Ireland's independence. But the highest murder rate was seen in the last 30 years. This is empirical data, not my feelings. Check the unemployment rate now, compare it to the 60s. Check the poverty rate now, compare it to the 60s. Check the literacy rate now, compare it to the 60s. You see, these are the arguments people use to justify why Ireland sit at the top of the murder charts for the whole world. Whole world. Top 3. Every year, give or take, there are about 200 countries in the world, and people want to believe so. It's because of things like poverty and illiteracy and unemployment. Why Ireland sits so high on the charts. Ireland did not get more illiterate. It did not get more poverty. It did not get more unemployed. But the murders, well, those certainly spiked. When Jamaicans could barely read and write, our murders were extremely low, and people got in bed with them door open. When Jamaicans' unemployment rate was higher, people got in bed with them door open. When Jamaica's poverty was higher, people got in bed with them door open. Our politics got uglier, and our culture got uglier. But hey, don't take my word for it. I'm just a little YouTuber. I'm still waiting for somebody to tell me how Rwanda had a genocide and recovered to become one of the safest countries in the world. Let's just accept the conventional narrative and don't put any real thought into it. Anyway, Patreon Squad, big up on yourself. Yeah, you don't know. More life. Vulture Squad, stay circling. Bless.